Word of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you so much for this day and thank you for the opportunity to come together and talk about things that be done in this county and pray that you would be with us, dear Lord. Just like your son was with us when he went to the cross. Dear God, be with us now. Help us to and guide us, Heavenly Father. We'll give you all the praise and the glory. These things we pray in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please, thank you. Want to welcome everybody to the meeting tonight, Gibson County Commissioners, February 6, 2024. And we'll start with our approval of our minutes from our last meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on to the approval of the claims for the month, $1,713,823.75.
I make a motion to approve the claims.
A second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gentlemen, treasurer report and or clerk report.
No, there was none.
Very good. Department reports. Do we have anyone from any of our county departments that would like to give us an update? Oh, Mr. Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go right ahead and be first.
I thought she'd be, okay. All right, I like you guys the jail numbers for January. And as soon as I find them, I will tell you what they are. All right, so in the jail, our daily average was 86 inmates with 76 males and 11 females. And in work release, we had a daily average of 20 with 18 men and 2 females. As far as what our staffing looks like right now in dispatch, we are allotted 9 positions in dispatch, and we have 4 openings. We have one girl that's going to start the 12th of February, so we'll be down to 3, and that's a step in the right direction. We also hired 2 part-time females that have dispatching experience with another agency, so we're feeling good about that. We have 21 spots in the jail, and we have 6 openings in the jail. By the end of the month, we should be down to just 3 openings, which is probably the highest or the lowest number I've ever had in the jail since I've become sheriff. We have 3 people in the process for full-time and 1 in the process for part-time. I'm feeling pretty good about the jail. Work release, we have 1 field officer position opening right now, and we have 1 facility officer. However, the new guy starts the 19th of February, and he will be our facility officer. Deputies, we have 2 open spots, and next Tuesday, we're gonna have a merit board meeting at around noon, and we are interviewing a candidate, and if he passes the merit board interview, he'll be given a conditional offer. We also have testing for the other open spot on Saturday at 8 a.m. We have 2 guys in the academy. If you are on Facebook, you can follow the Law Enforcement Academy, and they'll put pictures up of the different classes, and Michael Bates was up there, and I screenshotted him, took a picture, sent it to him, and said, hey, your mom says quit being a turd, smile in the pictures. He goes, if you only knew, nobody was smiling that day. I said, what happened? He goes, well, somebody fell asleep in class. So we got smoked for about an hour in the gym. So I said, well, you'll look back on that with fondness. So it's been a while since I've done the weekend things, but recently, as recent as the 4th, something pretty awesome happened. The deputies went above and beyond the call of duty. So February 4th at 5:58 p.m., we got a 911 call. This lady down south of Owensville stated that her neighbor had kicked her door in and was in the house intoxicated, and they were hiding in the house trying to stay away from her. She identified the subject as 47-year-old Timothy Dowdy of rural Owensville. This is the guy who kicked the door in, and while the police were driving lights and siren to get there, he decided to go out in the front yard and start popping shots off with this firearm. Officers got there on scene, and he had went back home and basically barricaded himself in there. And now the rest of the story. 36-year-old Brittany Marginette rolls up on her 2016 Polaris side-by-side, and she's like, oh, he's in there, he's passed out. So there's a standoff. Deputies get up there to the door, or up to the windows and look inside, he's still there. They ultimately get him to come out. And Michael Owens places him into custody. So this is Michael Owens, this is the guy you guys need to get to know, because this is one of my new deputies. Did a great job. My sergeant, Olin Barchett, decides, I want to talk to this Brittany Marginette and see what's going on. And when he talks to her, he's like, it's no alcohol. So we got a 2-for-1 there. We got Mr. Dowdy, who was arrested for criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon, battery, intimidation, possession of a firearm by a domestic batterer, residential injury, and criminal mischief. And Mrs. Marginette got OWI and neglect of a dependent. So, you know, the deputies on that scene with the standoff is never one that you enjoy. It's a highly tense situation that's rapidly evolving. So it's tense, uncertain, rapidly evolving. That's one of the scariest calls to get. And they went above and beyond and placed them into custody. Nobody got hurt. And then Owens, not to be done for the day, ended up getting the arrest later in the shift too. So I'm just super proud of Michael Owens and Sergeant Warren Barchett. Any questions?
Thanks for the,
Thank you.
thanks for the report. Mr. Johnson?
Nope, got one up first.
Shane, you got all kinds of department heads here tonight, okay?
So that wasn't very enough for me, any issues. So I have gave you guys December and January reports. Also, if you have any questions, do you have any questions? No? Trying to hurry so you guys can. I need to get permission to hire another nurse. Hired before I asked you guys permission, but my nurse now is going to be our educator now. The one that's been there with us for a long time. She's decided to do that. So I need to get permission to hire another nurse, which is already something that's happening on it, and I just need to get that from you guys, so.
I'll make a motion to let her hire a new nurse. You gotta have one.
I second
Favor,
that.
signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And then just real quick, because I wasn't here last month, January was suicide awareness month, and I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. We are 72% in suicide in our county. Pretty high. So in January, we went to Hoops for Mental Health out at Gibson Southern when they played Princeton, and Gibson Southern played on January the 12th. And they had Southwestern Behavioral and our coalition got together, our caring community. So they were all out there, had booths, and were passing out things and helping. But I just want to make it aware that if anybody is in need in their crisis in our area, there is a 988 number you can text or call. It's something that's very important to have because that is something that we need to be aware of, being that high in the county.
You said 988,
988.
and could you clarify that statistic? Did you say that we are 72 out of 92 counties, or is that, am I understanding you right?
For 72%, yes, high on suicide rates in the state of Indiana.
Does that mean now the 92
Yes.
counties that we're 72?
We are high,
Okay.
so, okay. That's it. Thank you, guys.
So there's 20 other counties that are higher than those essentially, but
We are out there.
we're not, I mean, you,
Mental health is a very serious issue.
Sure.
We all need to be aware of.
Yeah,
and help
sure.
them.
It's the water they're drinking.
I don't know. Okay. That's something we can work on for sure. Mr. Johnson?
So anyway, Mike Stevens and I with SJCA, we did a quarterly report with NDOT this morning, so kind of put at rest some of this community crossing stuff. So we did our reports and then we talked to NDOT about it. So we were never late on an application. The application was submitted. There was a glitch on the closeout. Now that we know that, we've got everything closed out. So we are still in the running for the -1 community crossing. So I just wanted to kind of let you know that that came straight from the head lady at NDOT. So everything's good on that. So we're hoping that in March, we'll find out whether we've been granted or what, nothing's guaranteed on community crossing, so we'll find out. So.
But
We're still on
still
track.
another chance for the other one.
So even if we're not granted the first round, we'll still reapply in July. So just want to let you know that everything's good. We're in the running for the first one and all on which.
So we're into January.
Season with SJCA.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Brent. I knew Michael would take care of it. I mean, thank you. And thanks for the update. Okay, let's see here. Any other department heads? Don't want to overlook anyone. Let's go on to old business and update of the jail from George Ballard.
We've got a lot going on at the new jail site. The glass for the windows are in the office area, so Friday they're gonna put some temporary heat in the office area, and then hopefully next week they'll actually start drywalling. That'll be starting probably Monday. The overhead doors for the Sally Port, they're all 4 of those are installed. The floor slab is supposed to be poured late next week. And then probably around hopefully the 5th of March, they're actually gonna start moving cells into the building. They're also working on the side panels that go into the building. They're working on the roof as we speak. And so a lot of things going on. They're working quite a few people. They're working overtime right now to try to get some more things done. Weather got down to 0. They didn't do a whole lot, but now the sun's been out. It was Friday, Saturday, and today it's been pretty decent. So they're working full steam ahead right now. So it's moving along.
Well, I'll tell you, things are really shaping up over there. And
I like the stone. The stone wall goes up about 4 feet, has a good look to it. So I think hopefully it's gonna be a little more looking like an office building than anything. So we don't want to distract from the city of Princeton anyway.
no.
Well, it's moving along, so that's it.
Thank you, George.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
I'm gonna slide out if you don't mind.
All right, no, neat. And if you don't mind on your way out, just leave the doors open. I
I'll leave the door open.
think a guy could benefit from that, so. Thank you.
Leave the light.
And leave the light on too, yeah. Thanks, George. Thank you, George. Really appreciate it though. Update for the well of Gibson County, Emily Brown.
Our updated budget.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you. Thank you, Judy.
So just a little update, on what we're doing, what's going on. We have reached some pretty monumental goals in the program. We were able to get OCU internships, established in the program, so we're excited about that. They started with us actually last week. And then we have them set up also for hopefully the fall semester coming up. Also, we're hoping to establish, I was super excited. I thought we had Tiger Tots, for childcare for moms, but that ended up falling through just due to some state, state things with the program. So anyways, we weren't able to connect with that, but we're still working on that piece. So we got our interns, we have some mentorship set up for our moms after they're done with our program. We do have quite a few churches in the area that are continuing to support, continuing to be engaged with our moms and what we have. And another thing is we are hopefully going to hear this week with Wabash County, with Safe Haven, and hopes to partner with them. Been able to meet with some churches out there to do, hopefully help with some transportation to get those ladies back and forth to our class. Like I said before, our class will always be here in Gibson County. It will stay here in Gibson County, but we do want to open our doors to the need outside the county, which Wabash does have quite a few Gibson County residents. that are a part of that safe haven shelter. So we also want to resources to them. So that is an up and coming thing also. We're just, continuing to reach our 3-year plan, continuing to check off goals, check off what we're needing to do. The ladies are doing awesome. We're gonna be out in the community this spring, doing a lot of extracurricular things, and out doing some things with our community. They're excited about that. We're continuing on with our Social Life partnership. Cedar Rapids continuing to set habits. Basically following up with the game program that's been done in the fall. We're continuing on each other habits. That's within the spring semester. So we're continuing working with him, we're continuing with our partnerships, and we're really doing some incredible things. Of course, we always need support. So we're always looking for, we have applied for some grants, continuing to work on that. I just submitted a center point grant. So we're hopeful for that. We're still continuing to try to work with Toyota, those places. So yeah, we're still working on that, but as you all know, we're fairly new, so.
Yeah.
It takes time for those grants to come through. It takes time for people to know who we are and what we're about. But yes, just continued support, we're needing, so.
Thank you for your update, and it's always, beneficial to hear and encouraging to hear what you're doing for the young women in our community, so we really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see here, commissioner appointment for ex officio TIF, board, school board member. Kim Montgomery.
Yeah, it's up to commissioners to appoint, this is a non-voting member for the TIF board. And I want to thank the one that's leaving, David Lewis from Fort Branch. He did an excellent job. And we probably need to make a motion on Joe Williams is who we're gonna put in. Okay,
Move. I'll make the motion.
Second.
all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. He's in. All right, Travis,
you.
appreciate it, buddy.
Amendment of 2024, holiday schedule.
I don't know that probably can be removed from tonight's
Okay.
agenda. I think we've already voted on, I know we already voted on adding the solar eclipse as a holiday. And that went to the council, I believe, in November. The
Yeah.
council had some concerns and they haven't approved the funding component to it yet. I did talk with a couple of the council members earlier today and I think we may be able to get something worked out. It will also include involvement of the union. But as far as this evening, unless I'm missing something, I don't think there's any.
Well, the union's one that come to us and said that we'd probably need to amend the old one to put this new, it's only a 1-day thing forever, but
Yeah.
we still need to put it in for the new one. So it's on the list, everybody knows it.
Okay, so no action upon that, and maybe that sounds like under new business here, surplus property tax refund, Mike Watkins.
Yes, it's been past practice that if someone, I'm hearing myself, if someone has an overpayment on their property, that they're sent a letter, and in 3 years, if they haven't claimed it, then the money goes into our general fund. We've been talking about, Christy and Marianne, I've been discussing this, and it seems as though that money should follow the parcel. So if the person doesn't claim it, then it will be put on as a credit to their taxes, whatever they owe for taxes.
Yep.
And it will, but we still would do the 3 years for them to claim it. But then we would write a check to the treasurer, and then they would take and disperse it out to each one of the parcels that are due this money. And so we're wanting to change past practice on this, and that's what I'm coming to you tonight about. I mean, it's just plain and simple thing, so.
Good idea.
It
And if-
sounds good
if
too to
it-
give it back.
If they've happened to if they have happened to have sold the property, then the person that owns the property is going to be the lucky one to get the break on it. Because the previous owner that overpaid did not claim it back. And they do get a letter and it explains they have three years to, gives a due date that they have to have it back. So we would like to change that, or it's open for discussion and, you know, whatever you guys think. But we think we will penalize people if they don't pay on time. But if they overpay, then we take it away from them if they don't claim it. So,
Mike, do they get a letter each year?
no, they get one letter.
A letter
Mhm.
stating that it's gonna be 3 years.
Mhm. And they have to fill it out and return it, and then a check is issued to them.
So essentially, if we enact this, we're gonna be giving them their money back.
Yeah.
Returning the money back to the taxpayer.
Yeah, to the taxpayer. It may not be the one that owns it at the end of the 3 years, but it will be going back
It
into,
could be, but then it could
Yeah.
not be.
It'd be going as a credit to the next bill,
Yes.
3 years later.
Right.
yeah. Marion would just apply that to their tax statement. So it'll just show a credit on there for them of an overpayment.
If they don't claim it, come and claim it.
Mhm.
Okay.
I mean, I like the idea of it. Do you know if other counties are doing it this way? And not that that's pertinent, but
I don't know. I did not check into that on it.
Great idea. I think.
So if you're inclined to accept his recommendation, I would ask for a motion to pass a resolution. I'll prepare the resolution for the next meeting, but a motion to pass a resolution adopting his recommendation.
I'll make that motion.
A second?
all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Southwest Indiana Workforce Board, local elective officials agreement, Sarah Worth. Welcome.
Hi, Sarah Wurzel, Executive Director, Southwest Indiana Workforce Board. We're here again to get the local elected officials agreement renewed. Just a reminder, this is the agreement that selects either a commissioner or a mayor of a city or town of more than 5,000 in population to serve on an executive council over the Workforce Development Board in the 9-county region of Southwest Indiana. Historically, it's been Mayor Wright. And in talking with him, I think he'd be happy to serve in that capacity again. And the Workforce Board is responsible for the administrative agency, responsible for Work One Southwest offices in the 9 counties. So providing employment service. We also administer the Jobs for America's Graduates programs, which is at Gibson Southern as well as Princeton. So a lot of focus on workforce development and being able to serve individuals, help them get back on their feet for employment.
Sounds very good. And so you're just wanting us to basically make the approval for the recertification or the recertification of the agreement.
Yes.
Well, I'll make that motion.
Got a motion?
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 When are your meetings?
Our workforce board meetings, they're typically the 4th Friday of every month. We meet 10 times a year. They are 5 are virtual, 5 are in person. But on April the 26th, Linda has some information. We will have our local elected officials breakfast. April 26th, breakfast will begin at 8 a.m. and it will be at venue 812 in Evansville. So you're all welcome to attend. But we can get you notice of the actual board meetings, and you can get those on your calendar. So 4th Friday, the ones that are in person will be at the Fort Ranch, with the exception of our February meeting. It will be at the Southern Indiana Career and Tech Center, so that would be February the 20th. But then March will be virtual, again, then April in person, May is virtual, June is in person.
I noticed that, mental health is real close to my heart. So I think it would be nice to have a more of an update on that.
Okay.
Mayor Wright hasn't came and said anything to us, but I think it'd be something that I'd like to have more.
Okay.
For you guys,
Sure.
I don't know about the rest of everybody else,
Yeah.
but I think it'd be
Yep.
nice to have that a little bit or something, more involvement.
Okay. Just a couple other updates. Did host a Gibson Javapalooza. Javapalooza is our take on, if you're a musical festival fan, Lollapalooza. With Javapalooza, it's kind of a job fair on steroids, if you will. It's, not just employers, but it's also resource organizations. We find that too often it's not just a job that someone needs. They may have some kind of barrier to employment. So Javapalooza was intended to help break down those barriers. We did have 15 job seekers come to our event. We had 12 employers and 7 resource organizations. We did have to relocate the office in Princeton from the Ivy Tech building. So we're now at Hub 127, up on the square, just right next door. We have had in the last 6 months, 29 individuals engage in one-on-one services. So this is really sitting down with an employment specialist, talking about what their work history has been, and really exploring what their next opportunity could be. And that has resulted in 16 job placements. So.
Very good. And what could you, like, how would you describe Javapalooza? What does that look like to someone who's never or understands it? Is it a big career fair, a big job fair?
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of participation from our local or Gibson County businesses? And
Yes. When we host a Javapalooza, actually tomorrow is Warwick County. So we focus on employers within the county.
Great.
And give first, chance to those employers. When an individual comes in, they check in. What's special about Javapalooza is it also offers some kind of food component. So we're not just trying to help break down barriers, but also providing some kind of meal for the individual that has come through. So they come in, they sign in, they are given a slip of paper. They go around and have the employers and the resource organizations initial that, and that's what they would turn in for their food ticket, if you will. Thankfully, Susan Bobes was able to provide those vouchers for us, and then individuals could go and turn those in.
Great, great. And keep up the good work. I mean,
Yeah.
bringing people in, help them, connect them with careers and jobs and.
When I was on unemployment ticket, that office in Princeton was closed.
Do you know when that was?
It was probably the last couple of months, about 3 months, and there, you had some people in there once in a while. It's hit and miss. You never know when they're gonna be in there and when they weren't, because the lady wasn't there, and then you had to go to the library.
We do have services
And
available, yeah.
She was there, but she really couldn't help you on what you need to do. And I just wanted you to address this, and I think that's a problem, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe Randy, maybe you could get her contact information and get their work schedule and iron that out. Are you guys agreeable to that?
Yes, absolutely. But I will also say that Work One offices are no longer
I know that,
unemployment offices. So
yeah,
just for the general public, that was removed in 2015.
right, I know.
So we can provide over the shoulder.
But
yeah.
what I was just saying, you know, 'cause you want, it's easy to, I'm telling everybody this because it's easy to get hacked.
Mhm.
And it happened to me, and it was the state of Indiana that got me hacked.
Mhm.
It wasn't me, because I always do mine at the unemployment or a secure site, so that's, and that was a mess, and.
Could I ask, could we finish this a little later too, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
will give you,
won't cut you off, but
I'll give you my card. You're welcome to pay.
thank you.
Can I ask a question? And I don't know if you know the answer to this, but you receive a sizable contribution from the county, correct?
No.
No contribution from the county?
No county funds.
So then no funds from other communities within the Gibson
We-
County area?
We do not. Our funding is primarily federal, which passes through the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. We are a congressional act, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. It is restricted dollars, but the balance of our budget comes from local philanthropy, with whether that is community foundations, United Ways. But then we also have other funding that comes through the state that is not federal.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Do you have the agreement to sign?
I will take a copy for sure. Thank you.
Then, it can be emailed back to.
Okay.
Back to Linda. Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the signature, the agreement with them.
I second, make that motion.
A second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And the way I understand you, Mr. Burns, you're interested in, being involved in this to some extent?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And would you be willing to be our representative, or should we pause that and wait until you've had time to consider it more?
Oh, no, I'm good with that. yeah.
Okay. So Nick Burns will be our representative. And I believe you just need one other signature from, it says on here the mayor, but,
Because it's a city or town of more than 5,000.
Okay.
All right.
thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Change of polling locations for Patoka Township, Mr. Spindler.
Actually, it should be County Clerk Sherry Smith that I think is gonna handle this agenda item.
Very good.
Gentlemen, a week or two ago, I had sent an email to all three commissioners and Jason regarding wanting to change polling locations within the city of Princeton. We've been working on 2024 presidential elections since probably the second week of December. And so this is one of the moves that we were very interested in making. And so a couple of things have come into play. One is the fact that you're planning to relocate the commissioners' offices and that we would no longer be able to utilize this facility as a polling location. And at the same time, Mayor Wright had suggested that we no longer use the municipal building as well. And so the fact that we now have a active firehouse, or continue to have an active firehouse out at White Church, and very limited parking out there, we would like and would recommend to the commissioners that we relocate we eliminate these three polling locations and move all of them out to the Toyota Event Center and to the 4-H building. So all of the Township voters would vote out at the fair. And we have numbers.
Current locations and what we're proposing.
Which votes in which location. So we've come here tonight to ask if you would be in favor of this and approve this so that we could start making the changes necessary to inform all of the voters, as well as politicizing all of this information publicly so that people know where they're supposed to go to vote, to eliminate any confusion on primary election day. And then there would be no more changes we can see in the township. But we didn't want to change one and then change another one, and then possibly change that third one. We felt we could do it all at one time.
Right.
That would be much easier.
Sounds good.
I think it's a good idea.
Streamlining approach.
And they have the parking facilities. We've broken down which polling locations, like if you voted at the North Annex, then you would vote at the 4-H Center. Okay, you would vote at the 4-H Center. So it doesn't matter what precinct you're in. If you voted here, then you would automatically go to the 4-H Center. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible. And the same with White Church and the municipal building as well.
And you have quite a bit of parking out there.
Yes, absolutely. We have a ADA compliant, we have plenty of parking. So yes. And I will tell you this, next week, we are also engaged in creating emergency action plans for each of our polling locations. We're going to do site visits next week, visit all the polling locations across Gibson County, take photographs, see what they have, see what they need, and try to possibly set things up maybe a little better than what they've been done in the past. And that's another project that we're working on as well.
Well, your office works hard and I like how you're trying to foresee what you need to do prior to the election. And this is all some good forethought and planning, so we appreciate it.
Have a good team.
It looks that way. Mhm, looks that way.
So
Thank you,
we need a
Sherry.
motion to,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
All right, I'll entertain. the
I'll
motion.
make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
The medical leave.
Have no medical.
No medical leave, okay. Before we move into any kind of public comment, should we have any public comment? Just want to remind folks that we do have a 2-minute allowance for public comment per person. If you would come to the podium, state your name and your address. And, we do have a timer so we can make sure everybody's treated fairly and equally. But if we have anybody who'd like to come forward, by all means, come on forward. We'll let you know when we start the clock, so that we're fair.
Now,
No.
We've got a sheriff down there to run you right out.
got a timer. He's reduced it
So
to
long.
42 seconds.
Patty Van, I'm with the Gibson County Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to publicly invite all elected officials who are running for office, who are already in office, to our Ag Day political forum that we do it with Gibson County Gibson County Farm Bureau at the KFC on March 16th. If you would like to speak about what you're doing or your campaign, please contact the chamber office, 812-385-2134.
The hours for that.
I think the breakfast starts at 6. I'm not totally for sure when the forum is gonna start.
Okay, count me in, Patty, I'll be there.
Was that in your 2 minutes?
Wow. Bruce, are you impressed?
I'm always impressed by my wife.
Good answer. Well played, well played. Okay, anyone else? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made.
Wait,
second.
wait.
Oh, got another one.
Hold on, I got something. I was trying to decipher this handout.
What he's referring to, I just circulated the same document that you had,
Okay.
proposed changes. that-
Let me know when he starts.
These are proposed changes to the solar ordinance. That I would, after speaking with the commissioners, hearing from the public, I would, I guess, present this to the commissioners for consideration at a future meeting, passage at a future meeting.
Okay.
One change on here that he's getting ready to talk about, the first item, you can see that I'm proposing changing the setback from 25 feet from non-participating property line owners or property owners to X feet. It's got 200 feet in there. I've stricken that and replaced that with an X. So whatever the pleasure of the commissioners would be. And so, Mr. Martin, with that, you can proceed.
Okay, my name is Kent Martin. I live at 9295 West 450 South in Owensville. I know 2 minutes is kind of short, so I'll try to fire this off, and I don't know if we can open this up afterwards, but I'll try to get through this real quick. Number one, I had a question on, if you know how many total solar panels are going into this massive project. That was question one. Question two would be, we'd like to know if these solar companies have provided the commissioners with product data sheets for the materials being used in this project, as well as MSDS sheets, material safety data sheets for any toxins that may be included in that material. Number three, I'd like to ask what precautions are being put in place to protect well water for these residents, because some of these existing homes are in fact on well water. Number four, more of a statement, I guess. We do know two facts of these solar companies moving in here. Those that live within the 2 mile radius of the city of Princeton were protected from these solar companies building on top of them by Princeton City of Ordinance. Their zones within the 2 mile radius of the city of Princeton. And fact number two, those that live outside of that 2 mile radius did not receive that same protection. I know that's kind of, you kind of answered my question here on number 5. As far as the last meeting, we discussed a little bit about increasing the setbacks. And that question was gonna be if we'd had any further discussion, and it looks like that's in the works. And, personally, from the people on County Road 350 South, I like to say, you know, we're on this, we're in this together, okay? We're a community, most of us are lifelong Gibson County residents. But we've elected you commissioners to represent us, not the solar company.
Guys, Ms. Martin, we're gonna have to cut you off. Your 2 minutes is up. Thank you.
All right.
I can respond to a couple of your questions, I think. I'm assuming you asked about the number of panels.
Yes.
Are you more interested in number of acreage or specifically?
Oh, I know the acreage. The acreage is about 1,200. Okay.
I can't answer the number of panels. I could answer the acreage, so,
Okay.
without talking with Revon, I have no idea. How many panels they're gonna have. Data sheets, I have not personally seen data sheets provided by the solar company. Well water, I'd have to check with an expert on that. I have no idea how, if at all, this would impact well water. So,
Well, the guys did say there's nothing in these panels that is a hazard. They've told us that.
They say all they want.
Huh?
They say all they want.
I know,
Let them show you. The burden shouldn't be on the resident.
yeah.
We're gonna get back to our 2 minute and, welcome anyone to come forward and, say their piece at the podium with your name and address, if you would, please.
Make the motion to adjourn then.
Okay, we've got a motion made. Have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.